morning to you. I'm meteorologist Jen Delgado.
And I'm meteorologist Allison Chinchar. It's Monday, March 7th, Jen. It's not just the severe weather threat that we're concerned about. We're also tracking the potential for some major flooding across the south. That's are going to have impacts as we go through the next couple of days. So let's take a look. We've got the whole country up here to kind of talk about rain because it stretches from Maine all the way out towards California for your rain chances. Now, the heaviest rain is certainly going to be in that cluster right there between the high plains at Arkla, Tex area there where you can see Houston in the mix, Little Rock also into the mix. But really, some of these areas could pick up as much as 8 to 12 inches of rain when it's all said and done. Here's a look at the current radar. Again, there's not much out, maybe a little bit around St. Louis into portions of central Indiana and Illinois. But really, the heaviest rain at the moment is actually out into California. And we actually still have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 6:30 Pacific time, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. Most of it, the threat is due to strong winds, could be up around 70 miles per hour. But notice, too, we just have incredibly heavy bands of rain that are coming down, not just yellows and oranges, but also pockets of red, indicating just torrential rain coming down at this moment, and also some snow into some of the higher elevations where you really get that rain or that snow necessary to build up the snowpack. Water vapor, again, we're starting to see some of that moisture begin to plume into portions of the southeast. And this is really where the bulk of the moisture going in this week is going to be focused. We have right now low moisture and a little bit of moderate moisture starting to come up into portions of Texas. But notice as we advance the graphic, we start going into tomorrow and the day after that, look at how that moisture really begins to increase. Again, near the Arkla, Tex, also around Mississippi and Missouri over the coming days. By Thursday and Friday, the only thing different, the moisture itself doesn't change, but it does begin to shift just a little bit to the east, now starting to impact more portions of Tennessee and also into Alabama. Again, rainfall totals widespread. We're talking 3 to 5 inches, and then a lot of areas, including Little Rock and Houston, 5 to 8. But some areas like Shreveport and the extreme eastern portions of Texas could pick up 8 to 12 inches of rain. So it's obviously no real questions asked why we have the flash flood watch that's in effect for the next several days for these areas because of the flood threat. And the thing is, sometimes you get these flooding events and it's a lot of light rain over a series of days. This is just going to be incredibly heavy rain, Jen.
Unlike what we saw last time when we were dealing with dry soil, now we're already looking
northeast, maybe more like late spring fever when you look at some of these temperatures. Here's a look at Pittsburgh this week. Now, keep in mind, their average high this time of year is about 43 degrees. Minimum, we will be at 15 degrees above that for the next 7 days, but we've got some days, including Wednesday, that will be almost 30 degrees above that normal temperature. Again, we're talking 60s and even a 70 in there on Wednesday. We've got this very strong ridge that's starting to build right here in the eastern half of the country, and that's going to bring all of that warm, moist air up from the Gulf. But the thing to note is just how high and how deep the trough and ridge setup is, and that's what's going to allow for some of these extreme temperatures. Again, we're talking 10 to 30 degrees above normal from New York to Chicago down to Atlanta. Look at the spring. Notice today, we're only talking about 4, maybe 5 degrees above normal for, say, Burlington and Boston. But down a little farther down to the southwest, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, 15, 20 degrees above normal. But by the time we get to Wednesday, it spreads even as far north to, say, up around New York, Burlington, and also into Boston. So, Jen, everybody on the northeast, midwest, and southeast is really going to get a little bit of a touch of spring the next. At what we're dealing with in Sacramento. Again, this is from Caltrans. Again, you can see the roads just completely soaked from top to bottom. Not the best driving conditions to be dealing with on your morning commute. Here is a look at the radar right now. Again, you can see heavy snow up around Donner Pass, but we also have a lot of rain for portions of Sacramento, also around San Francisco. It's a little bit lighter, maybe a little bit more intermittent around the San Francisco area, but that's just going to be a few breaks. It's going to continue to rain there off and on throughout the entire day. As we put this up, notice around the higher elevations, those temperatures are going to be below freezing. That's why Immigrant Gap now dealing with the snow showers, but around Auburn and Sacramento, temperatures just simply too warm. We're getting pretty much all rain at this point. Here is a look at I-80 at Kingvale. Again, you see the complete whiteout conditions right there. Now, you can see some of the tracks that the cars have been able to make on the road. That helps in that condition. Just follow the tracks of the person in front of you. That will make for the easiest driving conditions. Here's a look at the snow that we expect. This is not current depths at some of these places. This is the additional snowfall they expect to pick up just in the next 7 days. We're talking 2 feet, 3 feet in some of these areas, but widespread around 8 to 12 inches. This is excellent news because building up the snow snowpack is what helps us with dealing with drought once we get into springtime. Here's a look at the winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings that stretch all the way from the northern edge of California all the way down towards Fraser Park and even just a little bit farther south than that. Tahoe Valley, again, going to be dealing with some snow showers today. We've got a little bit of some rain on Wednesday and then a rain-snow mix once we get to Friday. So you may have some melting once we get to Wednesday and Thursday, but likely going to add just at least a little bit left once we get towards on Friday. So again, Jen, much needed moisture, whether it's in the form of snow or rain. California will take any of it at this point.
That's right. Good rain, bad rain across parts of Texas.